to go look up a lot of poems and try to figure out how they were going to test poetry. Well, what I did was I went to we have the Texas Education Agency, I went to the Ohio Education Agency, I went to the Minnesota Education Agency, and I looked at their released tests, and I found the states that were testing poetry. And so then that's a resource for you. You can go to those states, look at their education agency, find poems that's in their testing, and test it at multiple choice. And by chance, probably Pearson does theirs, and they collected ours. So these are states that test poetry. So you can go to their websites and pull up their test, and you will have poetry with multiple choice testing that's accessible, possibly, hopefully, to about the same areas that we are. So this should be in the handout. I believe it should be in the handout as a slide. Not on there. Okay. Those states. Now, when it comes to drama, I called TA and I said, okay, how are you going to test drama any differently than how you test any comprehension question? To me, when I was looking at a narrative, I was saying, well, you do character analysis. Well, in a drama, you can do character analysis and things like that. And I would think that it would be the same comprehension type questions that we already had listed. And they told me that pay attention to stage directions. What do stage directions tell you in the drama? Yeah, they tell you about the setting. They tell you about the character and the mood of the character, don't they? They give a lot of insight to the drama, and that is characteristic of a drama. You know, that would be a characteristic of a drama where they insert feelings of emotion and setting and things like that. That would be specifically set for a drama. So they said pay attention to those. So that's what I got out of that. Now, I also called them one time and asked them when I was trying to interpret, when the reading came out, and I was trying to interpret the different critiques. And I said, what do you mean by this? Poetic structure and some of those things that, okay, how deep do you want us to go at this grade level? They said, go to this website, and it has a glossary. You can make prints of the glossary, print it out. And it has terms for language arts with definitions. And so I ran that off, made a copy of that, and anytime I read a critique and I didn't understand exactly where they wanted me to go with this, I would go look at the term, and it simplified it for me. And so the same thing with you. If you want to go to this website and look at their glossary, that's what TA recommended as far as the terms they were using. Understanding what it is, and it helped me a lot because it's like, oh, it's not as technical as I thought it was. You know, I could just see it really being a monster, but when I read it out, it's like, oh, you already do that, or oh, that's not as difficult as I thought it would be. There was more clarification. So we've already done the Greek and Latin roots. Knowing that that is a really neat book to use. Okay, let me go back. There was one I skipped. Yeah, this one. Have you ever done logic puzzles like this for deductive reasoning? They are really good for developing the type of thinking we're looking at for the STAR. This is another supplemental I recommend. It's hard to read this up here, so I'll print it over here. The only thing you have to tell the kids is a comma is a different person. Instead of Willie being the girl who ordered pepperoni, it's a different person. So Willie, comma, the girl who ordered pepperoni, comma, the boy who got black olives, comma, and Elizabeth are all great spellers. Those are all different people. It's not descriptive of the person. Got it? Okay, so you have to do through deductive reasoning. So Willie did not order pepperoni. Can we deduce that? Because it was a girl. Well, because it's separate from the person who ordered, okay? And then a boy ordered black olives. Let's say the boy who ordered black olives, it wasn't a girl. And here, a girl ordered pepperoni, it wasn't a boy. So you see how you're doing your deductive reasoning. I know it wasn't this, I know it wasn't this, I know it wasn't that. And Elizabeth are all great spellers. Okay, Willie did not order black olives because Willie and the boy are two different people. Got it? Okay, Elizabeth. So Elizabeth's not the girl who ordered pepperoni. You're doing a lot of reading between the lines, aren't you? You got it?
Yes, can you tell me where that came from? I know like Susie read materials, she used a whole lot of these with their lower grades. I know teachers that used them all, but I haven't came across any that I'm gonna say are sixth and on up that are, I'm gonna say medium to high. In other words, when you first get ready to start, if they're so elementary, which is what a whole lot of the ones that I had from teaching first grade years ago, there's Susie read materials that do a lot of those. I'm having difficulty finding some that I wanna say that are even that level or a little higher, because you get something that's already really focused in for sixth and seventh graders, and those kids do not have a clue how to work this.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions? What
This is
some
called
movements are?
Connections. It's a book called Connections, and I don't have it with me on the last time.
Okay.
Things.
But I like to Google that and it might help.
But this is recommended for third grade. But
Okay.
I have
The thing
found,
is, when they haven't had it at the lower grades, and I
Right.
get them in junior high, well, it's like,
when I would do this as teachers, and teachers, you know, have trouble with that.
oh,
You have to start before you can develop. And with critical thinking, you have to give them exposure. I know, for a couple of years, I was teaching, I was contracted to teach, when I was a teacher, to start a gifted intelligence program way back when all of a sudden the state decided to require one. No curriculum, not anything. And so also part of my responsibility is not only develop the curriculum for the GT program for elementary school, but it was to go to the classroom teachers and demonstrate that higher level thinking can be taught to all students, not just to the gifted and talented students. And so this is a way you can do that. When I did these with my third graders, they went, Miss Floyd, this hurts. This really hurts. And I said, your brain's never been there before. You know, just like running a race and it hurts and you have to run a little more and a little longer. I said, the more you do these, the easier it is to see things between the lines. So, then the kids were, as we were doing them, they said, these are getting easier. I said, they're not. They're getting harder. You're just knowing what to look for, what kind of detail to look for, and how to read between the lines. Instead of just reading the lines, you were learning to read between the lines. Okay, so deductive reasoning, we found now that since Willie's not the girl and Willie's not the boy here, then Willie must be, we haven't found out Willie yet, Margaret has, and then Seth. Even though it has not mentioned Seth or Margaret at all here. Not at all. It's boy and girl, but. And then the last one says Elizabeth did not order sausage, so that cinched it. Since she didn't order, we could put the X, and then there was only one left. So it's deductive reasoning. You see, the reading is not involved. There's not a lot of reading there. I mean, the only reading is this right here and this right here. That's all. But it's reading between the lines. It's exercising the brain in deductive reasoning. The Connections book, they have a beginning. They have 4 different books.
is that the beginning
This
right
is,
there?
yeah, or the introduction, right? It's an introduction one, yeah. But it's recommended at the 3rd grade level. Well, then I have these 2 books. This is from the same company. And they start off with these. With the 4 and 4, that's your 4 and 4. And book 2 starts off with your 4 and 4. I don't like these because really you can do without. See, this is duplicated here. You can do without that right there. It's just complicated because you have
Well, that's
to
what
spell
they can't
twice.
code it there when they haven't been there. And
Right.
that's what several of them that I have, that I've ordered,
See, this book is even simpler. This starts with your 3 and 3. This is Logic Safari. Logic Safari. It is the lead into the Connections book, same company. And
Okay.
so you have your 3
Can I see
and
that
3.
minute so I can write down the.
Okay, and here's your 3 and 3, and then at the back of the book, it goes into your 4 and 4. So, but it's from the same company. It's called Connections. And then we wrote a book, because I wanted even simpler ones to start the 1st and 2nd grade level. And so we wrote, Reading Between the Lines, that I have for lower elementary school.
Okay, so this is in here somewhere,
It's in your,
because it says order online from stepupteaks.com,
Yeah.
and is that,
yeah, Pat, you can call Patsy, she knows what you're talking about, she's at her
Okay.
desk, and I'm not for sure if, they have some supplementals on the website, let me see. But these are really good if you want to work on deductive reasoning. If you want to teach the kids to look for detail and read between the lines.